Welcome to the University of Michigan Dentistry Podcast Series, promoting oral health care worldwide.
For this particular case, we're going to use a pre-made wax sprue with a bulb type reservoir on it. We could use the hollow plastic sprue that has the bulb type reservoir on it also. And what we would like to do would be to cut this off approximately 3 millimeters from, 3/4 of a millimeter from the end, so that we can get very, very close to the pattern and take advantage of the reservoir in our casting procedures. I've cut this at a bit of an angle so that I can lay it on the lingual aspect of the wax up, and it's much easier to attach a sprue if I have two hands available, so I'm going to leave the wax up on the model during the attachment process. And I'll just heat up the sprue a little bit here to melt some of the wax. I'll attach it to the lingual incisal aspect of the wax up. I've attached the sprue now, and in order to help the metal get all the way down to the margin, I'm going to lay a thin bead of wax on the labial surface, which obviously we'll remove after we have the casting completed, to feed metal down to the thin marginal area so that we get a complete casting here. We have our channel feeding from the sprue down to the margin on the labial surface. We've added another small channel to feed down on the lingual, and we've also added a piece of 16 gauge round wax for a knockoff lug or a small auxiliary retentive bar that will lock in on our soldering splint and maintain it in position. We're now ready to invest the pattern in a special high heat investment, which will be explained in another tape. So we're ready to sprue our pin ledge now. And one thing that we would like to preserve on the pin ledge, inasmuch as we do have a centric stop area, as you recall we tried to generate this, we'd like to put our sprue off to the side so that we can preserve as much of that as possible. And again, I'll be using one of the sprues with the reservoir, and you'll notice that I have cut it at an angle quite close to the reservoir, and I'll position it off to the side here if possible, about like so that I can preserve as much of that centric stop as possible. And I'll also attempt to position it down away from the incisal margin approximately, and there the Pono wire is interfering right here, so that I'll have to heat it up a bit. but I want to stay back approximately 3/4 of a millimeter to a millimeter from that incisal margin so that as the sprue chills and the casting chills, it doesn't have a tendency to pull back the metals from the margin and leave an open margin. After we've attached a sprue, we want to be sure and attach our small knockoff lug on the lingual aspect for our soldering splint. We can now go ahead and attach the sprue and prepare for our investing and casting procedures.
You've been listening to a presentation from the University of Michigan School of Dentistry, which is dedicated to supporting open learning and open educational resources. This recording is licensed under the Creative Commons. It may be reused and redistributed for nonprofit use. Please attribute materials to the University of Michigan School of Dentistry and redistribute under this same license. For more information on how this and other University of Michigan School of Dentistry recordings may be used, visit www.dent.umich.edu/license.